There's something I've been waiting for so long to talk to you about, and the topic is something that infuses our lives in ways that we're mostly unconscious to. And that topic is words. Words. You know, I think that words are these amazing gifts that we have created and can utilize as ways to communicate and transmit information. And yet, what they really are, like when you boil it right down to the core essence of words, I want to suggest to you that they are the carriers of energy, not of information. You see, our minds or our brains or our cognitive capacity may really want to make words one thing. But if you look at the English language alone, virtually every word has multiple meanings. It's really rather absurd to think that any word could have one single meaning. And yet, we use these phrases, adages, idioms, sayings, scripture, all sorts of words, combinations of words particularly, that we give certain credence to or meaning to. And in doing of that, I want to suggest to you that the chances are really good that what's happening is that you're collapsing into something that is no longer carrying the energy that was once intended. So let's think about this for a second. There are sayings that get repeated over and over and over again. And whether they're inspirational sayings that you may have had hanging on posters in your walls from the 80s in your office buildings, I can't tell you how many of those I've seen, people doing, some kind of active out in nature moment with an inspirational saying to motivate you to create success. And now our version of that perhaps is a photo on Facebook with, somebody's quote written on it, perhaps your own quote. But if those words are being said over and over and over again and you're not engaging with the energy they're intended to express, they're no longer the building blocks that are holding up the energy. They've collapsed around something and have lost their meaning. And yet they have influence over us. I've been thinking about this and toying with it and talking about it for quite a long time now. And I have a long list of adages and idioms. Isn't that a fun word? Idioms, speaking of words. And I may continue to share with you some of those very specific ones, but I wanted to invite you first to see if there are ways that you could become aware of the choice of words, particularly phrases, sequences of words that are perhaps not carrying the intention or the energy that you really choose. I have this magnificent book called The Red Book. It's written by Carl Jung, and I'll see if I can show it to you. It's rather large. Isn't that amazingly large? And beautiful, filled with images and his calligraphy, and then in the back, translations. In this, he was exploring his own dream work and through imagery and his paintings, and practiced his calligraphy. But he also did something that we might commonly now call active imagination, or you might call it journaling with your spirit guides. There's something I want to share with you from the Red Book. A succession of words does not have only one meaning, but men, might we say today, humankind, strive to assign only one meaning to a sequence of words in order to have an unambiguous language. And think about what that means, perhaps. To have an unambiguous language is perhaps an intention to exert control. But control, from a consciousness standpoint, tends to collapse what the energy is moving into. So as you're repeating phrases, whether you're actually saying them or writing them or blogging them or putting them on your Facebook posts or watching them on a movie or overhearing them in conversation, when you're engaging with those phrases that have become controlling, you've stepped out of being creator. You've stepped away from conscious engagement with living into possibility. And any chance that you have of creating the lived experience of heaven on earth now collapses around those sequences of words that have been repeated so often that they no longer hold the true potential or possibility that you desire. So, my invitation to you, consider the words that you repeat. Become curious about whether or not they are the ones that best express what it is that you want to bring into the world. And be playful with it. There's no reason to be pointing fingers at yourself or others because, hey, that's just control too. One of the ways that I've been playful with it is even in preparing to do this video, I've been walking around singing words, 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 words. Really? So play with it. Take it on if you would like to, and share with me if you would too, any of the idioms, adages, sayings, or phrases that you often repeat or that get you a little riled up or inspire and ignite you. As always, if you like this video and you want to be sure to receive and have access to future episodes, please subscribe here on our YouTube channel. Until next time, my friend, be well.